Ask Lumsden why would I want Jesus a bastard? Am I right? Jesus a bastard. Am I right? What is it? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Why did you ask Lumsden why would I want Jesus a bastard?
Yes! Yes! No, never story. What's the reason of that? There's no power. Only Jesus Christ gives you power to change. You don't change yourself.
Look, your brother is looking at you. Oh, don't shut my door. No, you, his brother. Shut my door. You understand what I'm saying? I like God. You're making him angry. I like God.
It's like me calling him around the field.
Any other good question?
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker, how many tractors do you have in your phone?
Quiet, rape and naked economy.
9 years old, 10 years old, and I was whisked all the way from Australia into this little prep school in the middle of the snowy wastes of Hertfordshire, right in the middle of a term, so there weren't any other new boys with me, and I suffered terrible homesickness, and I spent most of that first half term in tears.
Syria and Jordan, not including Israeli.
That got better, but certainly the sense of isolation and unhappiness drove me really to spend long hours in the chapel and to take the religious duties, which were quite onerous already, more seriously, you see, and the whole way of coping with that childhood unhappiness was this sense of identification with the sufferings of Jesus in some way, and there was some sense in which, as lonely children have a phantom playmate, the child Jesus, to some extent, took that role in my life. He was a sort of phantom playmate, and that's the way I coped with the misery of those years. My first left-wing Catholic, he showed me a way out of this narrow right-wing snobbish Catholicism that I'd been brought up with, and opened out and showed me the writings on social questions that I hadn't come across, and he, to the horror of my parents, said it was okay for me to go on the first Aldermaston March, you see, and most Catholics thought this was appalling to be against the government, you see. A lot of traditional Christian practice and beliefs in Catholicism were simply set aside because one was wholly devoted to these other activities. I could see that this whole question of traditional faith had to be questioned. It was the start of a movement in the States called the Death of God movement. Mainly Anglican, Episcopalian, Protestant theologians. Thomas Altizer was the most important one. And I came to see that this was what Christianity had to do. It had to abandon this sense that it was of divine origin and see itself as a human origin.
Go home. Who's pick up a copy of the Holy Bible? My God, He's not going to preach on the head. He's going to just talk to you. How will you come in God's word, whether you're near or not? And the fear of God was on all the kingdoms of those countries when they heard that the Lord fought against the enemies of Israel.
As the sort of traditional supernatural basis for faith moved away, then there slid into place a wholly humanistic understanding of religion.
In all their prophet, your own prophet,
Go away, go away. I love couscous, I love aubergine, tomato, green pepper, Mediterranean food, no prejudice. I'm not gonna eat. We're all children of Ishmael and Isaac. We're all cousins. No, I'm not Tunisian. I'm Tunisian. You shit, come from Himalaya. You never see fucking anything in your life. You come over here to a nice house. You're from Himalaya, monkey bastard.
I mean, your eternal destiny is determined on these facts that you've got written in your own prophets.
There was, I suppose, in a sense, that childhood sense that why is life so awful? You know, I'm a very privileged individual. I'm not sick or anything else, but life is grim and this is absurd. You know, and you know, one's parents and other people would say, you know, grow up. You know, you're just being neurotic. You know, pull yourself together. The fault's in you.
God never changes. Without the shedding of blood, there's no forgiveness of sins. God never changes.
All right, so I didn't seem to be able to make myself happy, but maybe I can make myself useful, I think, is probably what attitude came to mind, you know. That was really one way I looked at it, yes. Well, it was just looking, I suppose, for a more satisfying, a more meaningful life. That's constantly what I've been looking for, I suppose.